man going on, you know.
Yeah. All right. I think it's. Are we? Oh my God! Why am I hosting Sam B? Oh, he's probably in Phoenix Cartel.
Yes.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh my gosh.
Oh, now echo. We got an echo.
I think we're working. Okay, cool. We're live.
Yep, we're live.
Beautiful. Let me turn music up.
I was waiting for it to go wrong.
Hey.
I was waiting for something to go wrong.
I'm waiting for something to go wrong. Who would have known? Oh shit! Sub baby with Cursed.
Hey!
What are we naming it, Cursed? Or do I even want to know? Oh man. Oh, I did not put nearly enough stuff in that water. Mistake.
Cursed.
Great idea.
That would be Cursed Nomad, I believe.
Ours is still the best one. Ours just flows. What was it? Nomelli?
Gnomely is what we went with.
Gnomely? Ah, yes.
Gnomely.
Oh, I didn't post it on. I didn't post this to Twitter. Shit.
There it is. There's the mistake.
Yep.
There's
it
where
is.
he went wrong. I was waiting for it.
Be sure to put live in your name.
Oh, I think the better thing to remember is to take it off when I'm no longer
When you're
live.
not, yeah.
I'm always that.
No, I was actually DMing her about something, and she goes, "Oh my God, are you live right now?" And I was like, "No." She goes, "Oh, I thought you were DMing me while you were live." And I was like, "No, what?"
That's why I love when people put that they're live in their name, because like if I go to DM someone, I don't want to DM them while they're live and like bother them. Or if someone is DMing me while it says they're live, I'm like, what are you doing? Don't
Yeah,
you have
right?
something you should be doing?
Profile, edit profile.
I find it so much effort to put that in your name. I'm sorry.
It really is. But honestly, like, it doesn't even make a difference because I'll have people in my chat that are like, I'm gonna DM you. And I'm like, can you not? Just give me like an hour while I finish this. Please don't.
Well, it's
I was gonna say, it's like, you're not doing marbles for long. Can't they wait?
Yeah, like, my streams go like 2 hours max typically, and I'm just like, can you wait another 30 minutes?
the only reason it's nice is because I don't always have everyone's notifications turned on, and it's nice to see who's live sometimes. Because a lot of times I'll be scrolling Twitter because I don't see the reason that I have certain people's notifications. Like I actually have all three of y'all's notifications on because I keep up with y'all streams.
Hang on. Do you have my Twitter notifications?
I do. All five of them. Every time you tweet.
What the fuck are you doing? That's a big mistake.
But it's just because I keep up with the three of y'all. I keep up with everyone, what everyone does, and so I'll go through other people. Like there's still other streamers that I want to watch. And so a lot of times I won't see their tweets for like 13 hours, right? So I'll see their tweets from yesterday, but I'll see their live and I go, oh, cool, I can hang out with them. I can pop in their chats, even though I'm super delayed on what they were talking about. But hello, everyone. Welcome to the, what is this called? A podcast? Yeah, a podcast.
There it is.
Welcome to the Fireside Chats.
This is complete professionals.
It was
100%.
going so well.
I know, right?
We were ready to go live 13 minutes ago. It went perfectly for a change, chat. And then he forgot the fucking name.
Welcome to Nomad, Eric. How do I forget the word podcast? Very carefully, Cursed. Very carefully. So,
just talent, pure talent.
100%. Oh, complete talent. It's my specialty. But this is the Fireside Chat podcast. It's our weekly podcast. Give people a few more minutes to tune in. It's our weekly podcast that we do every Sunday night at 8:30. Me, Vivid, and Leppely are continuing our string of guests on the podcast. As that has been a trend that we've done for the last month, which has been
a good trend.
It's been good. It's been nice. So the bar is set really high for you, Kenzie.
Yay!
But I've been trying to dictate these guest streams somewhat around the guests joining us, which would make a lot of sense if we were a professional stream. But it's our weekly podcast. We do it every Sunday night at 8:30. It's more of a very chill, relaxed vibe. What's going on, Knight, and how are you? It's a very chill, relaxed vibe, casual conversation. We like this to be more of a genuine, so we have an outline, but I don't have like scripted points or anything like that. We kind of keep the conversation flowing, and we usually try to keep them to about an hour and a half. This week we're going to be talking about a selection of topics based around behind the scenes work on podcasts, including hitting my mic. I apologize for that. A little bit behind the scenes about creating podcasts, but obviously we do that, and I know Kenzie has history in that as well. Perfectionism in creation, like content creation, that's been something that I know Vivid was the one that actually brought this topic up, because I know it's something he's been struggling with as a gaming journalist, and it's something that I struggle with heavily as well. And then obviously our weekly dosage of Twitter news, which is probably where we're going to start off. But before we begin, I want to introduce to everyone. This is Vivid Shim. He's a gaming journalist, reigning in from the wonderful country of Wales, England.
Currently on lockdown.
We're glad you're here, buddy.
Country of Wales, England?
Country of Wales, England, yes. Down below me, we have wonderful Leppely or Leppely Plus, depending on which platform you found her on. She specializes in I feel like I'm one of them like boxing managers. Reigning in 225 pounds.
And down here at the bottom box.
She does a lot of marbles on stream. She does
down below me.
Yeah, she does marbles on stream. That's her big thing, marbles, and she obviously does a lot of the guest stuff with us. She's also basically the digital. Help me out. Words are hard.
Words. I don't know where you're going with this. I was unprepared.
Graphic design. That's what I'm thinking of. Gosh, words are very hard, James. Thank you. She's our graphic designer here. There you go. And then down here is our guest tonight, the wonderful third artifact, also known as McKenzie. Dab on him. Yep. So we thank you for clapping. Me and third actually we met because we met on Twitter. And we became friends after the Crankage Games debacle.
Yes.
That happened. That was the thing that happened back in August. It's almost been a year since that happened.
Yep. Everyone is one of those things like everyone remembers where they were at when they found out about Crankage Games.
Yeah.
Has it already been almost a year since that happened?
It really has.
Jeez.
It really has. And that
man.
I hate to say it, but that whole incident with him, like getting close to him, it kind of helped me as a creator in a sense, because I realized what not to be. And how not to go about things.
Yeah.
I know. Where did that time go? It's crazy. But we met through him. And then we kind of bounced in each other's streams occasionally. And then we met up at PAX South.
Yep.
And now we're homies, which is pretty cool.
Yep. You were wearing a cowboy hat, and I was like, I think that's Eric.
I figured it would. I figured it was gonna blend in. I didn't realize it was gonna be a freaking beacon.
No, you did not blend in at all.
We spent an inordinate amount of time in that Buc-ee's on the way to PAX South, so he could buy that cowboy hat.
I wanted the right one. I have 3 of them, and I'm just like, does this one look good? What about this one? You like this one better? Which one do you think would fit in more? And she's like, I don't think you realize none of them are gonna fit in. And I'm just like, oh bullshit! I was like, Texas. I gotta fit in. It's my first time in the state.
I was like, it's fine. I'm only the native here. Just don't listen to me then. It's whatever. You do you.
But you know what? I'm glad I bought that hat, because everyone found me no matter where I was because of the hat. I had people walk up and like, yeah, I saw you at the door. I noticed the hat. It was right there.
Definitely made you easy to pick out in a crowd. I think I only saw like one other person wearing a cowboy hat the whole time, and it was one time when I was looking for you, and I was like, "Oh,
I was there. They would
oh
have been...
no, that's not Eric. Never mind. Okay, there's somebody else wearing a cowboy hat."
I'd have been in a small ass cowboy hat, walking around.
The undersized one.
Small hat club.
Yeah.
Small hat club.
But yeah, no. So how was PAX East? Because none of us went there. I think you're the only one that of here that went to PAX East. So how was it? Was it better? Because I've heard some horrible things about PAX East, but it's from a completely different aspect of it. It wasn't about the convention itself.
Us poor folk weren't able to go. Not so short after PAX West or PAX South.
Honestly, like, I think I'm gonna go to PAX East instead of PAX South next year because it was just way better. There was way more vendors, because my issue with PAX South was like a lot of the vendors were selling like old Xbox 360 games, and I was like, no, like that's not it. I don't want that. So a lot of there was a lot more vendors, there was way more games to try, there was a lot of people. People kept telling me, you know, if you want to meet someone, message them because you're not going to be able to run into them. I actually ran into quite a few people, and I kept running into like some people like multiple times, and I was like, oh hey, it's good to see you again, what's up. It was really busy, but honestly, like, it was so freaking cool. And there's an area where you can walk across the top, and I went up there and was like going and looking through like all the different things going on. And we were actually up there, I was up there with McGrath, and we were trying to find, if you guys know who Skyrim Grandma is, she was there.
I do know her.
Yes.
She was
Skyrim
there.
Grandma.
Yes, so we were up in like the skywalk trying to look for her, and we're like, okay, look for someone with like white hair other than the cosplayers, and we'll probably find her. We didn't find her, unfortunately. We were like trying to find her. Oh, but it was so cool. There was like way more after parties, like an overwhelming amount. But they were like, the one that we went to the first night was really freaking cool. So the next night we really didn't go to any. We were like, yeah, we're partied out, let's just chill. But it was really cool. I recommend it. I definitely, if you like PAX South, PAX East, I'm like, yeah. Okay. It was just really cool.
You had me at parties. We went to the wrong PAX.
Yeah. If
Speak
you
for
want
yourself, I
crazy
didn't go to
virtual
any
parties.
To be fair, well, this was my first year actually going to any of the after parties. But to be fair, like, the past couple years at PAX South have been much bigger.
Yeah.
This year was so, like, small and scale. It was weird. And it kind of worries me for future PAX Souths because, I mean, PAX South is so close to me. It's only a 3-hour drive, and I have to travel stupid amounts of distance to get to East and West. So I'm kind of worried about it. But, like, I was really disappointed in this year's PAX South. So I totally, like, get the not wanting to go to it, and it makes me sad.
I was done after the first day. After the first day of walking around, I was like, okay, I'd rather go explore San Antonio now. I feel like I've seen everything.
Right.
So I was super disappointed. But I also understand that it was smaller, because a lot of people told me that it was smaller.
I
But,
thoroughly enjoyed South. And the reason I thoroughly enjoyed South personally was because I was going with the intention of meeting people. A lot of people for the first time. Like, me and Lepp have been best friends for, you know, almost 3 years now. It was the first time actually getting to meet up. So PAX South was more important to me than just the convention side. It was meeting you. It was meeting... I met Loco. It was a big partner streamer. I got to hang out with Bloody Faster and Lobos. Literally all of Saturday night. We went out to drinking and bars. So, like, it was the creator, like, connection that I enjoyed. The convention was a little bit disappointing because I felt like we had to walk around for a lot of nothing. But it was fun hanging out with people. I feel like PAX East would be funner to hang out with and actually enjoy the convention side of things.
Right.
But I thoroughly enjoyed just meeting people, making new connections, making new friends. I mean, that's why I'm a part of Phoenix Cartel now, was because I met Posters in them. So, I mean, you know, it worked for me, but I can definitely understand how it being smaller would have been a bit of a disappointment.
South is definitely a more, like, social convention out of the PAXs, because it's definitely more focused on, like, people coming and just kind of hanging out, which I think is why it's always really small. Because it's there always seems to be, like, a lot of, like, just an obscene amount of vloggers. So it's just, like, I don't know, I guess that's, like, the vlog con, really.
Vlog con, that should be a thing. But
God,
like,
no.
as someone from, like, an outside perspective, having never gone to a PAX, when I've seen both of them, like, trending online, PAX South is always about people talking about going there and meeting people, Whereas PAX East and not as much PAX West, but certainly to an extent, is more there to going to see a thing and doing a thing. And that seems to be the kind of vibe I've gotten from both of them when I've been looking online. Is a very like social event in South, and then East is more I'm going here to do a thing and kind of network with like brands essentially.
East,
I can understand
East
that.
in particular has definitely always been more of like the brand PAX, like the one that you go to mingle and schmooze with like the big brands.
Because they all go to that one.
Yeah, because they all go to that one.
They had the Final Fantasy VII remake demo. That's the only reason why I wanted to go.
Yeah. They always get like the big stuff like that. I don't know about the other ones, but I know South has like seem to have a really. I don't know if it's the biggest out of them because I don't know. I've never been to the other ones, but they have a really big like tabletop gaming presence. And I feel like that's kind of the big draw of South is it's more of like the social mingle, play some tabletop games kind of vibe, whereas everything else is like I have to go network with this person and this brand and like schmooze with these people, which is fine. I want to go
tabletop at
schmooze.
East. They had a whole section full of tabletop.
Oh really?
Because I made my way over there. I was like, Magic the Gathering stuff is here. I need to go look. I spilt beer on my Grave Titan mat. If they have one, I gotta replace it.
Oh no!
I want to get back into Magic so bad. I used to play it religiously, and
Yeah.
then my wallet
I never
decided.
recognized
Well, what happened?
It's
you see,
an
I had a
expensive
conversation
hobby.
with my wallet, and my wallet was like, "Hey, you need
all
to eat and pay
tabletop
rent."
things are expensive. Already.
Briar raid! Oh, I don't have my alerts
But-
turned
but
on
my-
for this pod. Hello, Briar.
My mouse pad right now is
Right.
an old ass Yu-Gi-Oh mat because it fits my desk better than my mouse mat. And I don't play that fucking card game anymore, so I was like, I guess I'll use this.
So
Yes.
really, everything you do at your computer is part of the heart of the cards.
Yes.
Damn right.
That's
Every
why
time-
he's so good at Uno.
That's
Yeah,
that's why.
so good at Uno.
He's-
because
He's
I
just
believe
one
not.
with the heart of the cards.
You are specifically responsible for about
Yeah.
60% of my rage, Vivid.
Only 60%?
Only 60, because the rest is that godforsaken game's fault. I don't know if you're aware of this. I angrily live tweeted Ubisoft because of that stupid fucking game.
I wasn't involved in this one.
The Uno, the
I was.
Steam version of Uno. Yeah, I know you were involved. You were probably responsible for this one too. I was so mad at that game. I'm hosting the game and it tells me I cannot connect the host. How the hell can I not connect the host? I am the host. I was so mad.
I've been trying to convince him to get the Monopoly game that Ubisoft make, but I haven't
God.
won him over yet.
You will never win me over. Also, I just spent $120. I
Yeah.
also just spent
And that's
$120 on
custom
Persona
rules.
5 and Final Fantasy 7, so I'm done out on games. But
Yeah, that's true. You've got enough games of them.
Hey, I just bought a brand new Switch and a second copy of Animal Crossing so that my husband and I can both have our own islands. And I'm still into Uno or Monopoly, so
Sure.
let's do it.
If I get I will play it if you get it to me, Curse. Yes, I will. So, but again, welcome Raiders. Hello, Briar. Thank you so much for coming in, beautiful. I love you so much. We're for those of y'all that are new here, this is the Fireside Chats, our weekly podcast. Today we are joined by Third Artifact, and I want to start off by talking about Twitch. So Twitch made a couple of massive changes to. Well, they made one massive change that I know of. They probably did something else, and then it made them the beautiful love child of the streaming world, and then they fucked it. And we're gonna get into that.
Immediately fucked.
Oh, they fucked it hard.
When we were going live, I was like, Twitch hasn't done, like, there hasn't been much Twitch drama, because I completely forgot this happened.
Yes. So,
I had to, honestly.
so Twitch came up with a new ban feature, and the new ban feature is beautiful. It is the best thing ever. For those of you guys that are longtime viewers of this podcast, y'all remember I had a troll, like our second or third time doing it, and it
Yeah.
turned out to be a friend of mine and about two of his high school buddies. And they ended up coming into my podcast, and they basically came up with a whole bunch of names like, just I'm fully honest here.
I was gonna say, do you even want to repeat some of these?
They were bad. They were bad, and I'm talking, Eric,
they were bad.
R word, stuff like that. It was bad. Like it was every time we would ban one, they would just come up with a new one and a new one and a new one. This new ban system would have stopped that entirely because IP shadow bans you, which means basically that as Eric is, etc. But with the new ban system, if you ban somebody, it IP shadow bans them. They cannot see your chat. They cannot see your stream. Which means if you have anxiety, like I do, and I know a lot of other streamers, like I know Yellow Spoon Girl is super excited about this feature, because now they cannot talk to you anymore. They cannot interact with you. You can go about your life knowing they cannot see you. You don't have to worry about it. And any other thing they create on that IP, they are shadow banned. So they can comment on your chat, but you will never see their comments. What do y'all think that's like? Because I love the move, but what do y'all think about it?
Why did it take this long?
Yeah, I'm shocked they didn't do this much earlier, honestly.
The only issue I see with it, which I mean it's just an issue that you can't physically get around, is VPNs and proxy servers that are going to come into play, because they just have to pull up a proxy from the UK if they're in America and just create a new name. And you have to ban that one, but
that is more effort. It's a
lot of effort.
That's a lot of effort just to do something that you're not getting.
And I could see like some real dedicated trolls, like some real just fully dedicated shitheads going that distance. But I think for the most part, it is way past due as far as like content moderation and stuff like that on our channels.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm kind of in the same ballpark as Kenzie here. It's like, why did y'all like this? Should have been something that had been implemented before. But the thing is, it's still the only one of its kind. Twitch is the only streaming thing that has this ban system. Mixer doesn't have it. YouTube can't physically have it. So
I think Mixer mentioned it and then never did it.
Yeah, they never went through it. Twitch is the first one to go through, because there is some legal things that they have to tiptoe around, being IP shadow banning people because of the full, verbiage of it, but there is some legal things they have to go through from the federal side of things, because the internet's considered at least in America, the internet's considered like a free resource. So IP shadow banning kind of tiptoes on the gray area there.
It's the basic premise of it is it technically can come under like censorship of the internet, which is something that a lot of countries are against, though a lot of them are pushing towards allowing it. I know America and the UK are two of them. They're kind of pushing towards allowing it to a minor extent at least. But the way they can get around that in Twitch's case is because there's a person on the receiving end of this, like getting trolled, getting attacked, they can, like, it doesn't matter at that point what that person's doing. They're the aggravator, they're the malicious person in the instance,
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially targeted harassment. Yeah. And they can claim freedom of speech and the First Amendment all they want here in America, but
it doesn't count for shit because it only applies to the government.
Well, exactly, and it's you're free to say those things, but you're not free from the repercussions of you saying those things. Right. So, since Twitch is technically a private entity because they're a business, they are well within their rights of protecting their clientele, who is us. So, it works out, and trolls can go fuck themselves. That's my opinion on the matter.
And hopefully this will speed up the process.
This really should have been a thing so long ago. I mean, we have seen, like, have you guys ever been doxxed? I've been doxxed.
No, I haven't, thank God, but it is one of my fears.
No.
I have had someone attempt to dox me. They had like a phone number that I had for like 10 years, but like I didn't have it anymore. And like an address for a state I never lived in, and like my full name and my age, which is public information on my stuff. Anyway, so I mean, we've seen people get doxxed. We've seen people get swatted. That should have been, as soon as the first person had that situation happen, Twitch should have looked at it and been like, okay, so this is something that could really put people in danger, and we need to take this seriously to protect our content creators.
Yeah,
exactly, because like
people have died from this shit, you know?
Yeah, it's a serious thing, and I honestly really don't understand why, unless it's something like logistically that's just taken this long, but I really don't understand why it's taken this long.
Safety has been a number one concern. Safety.
I imagine what it was like Eric mentioned, just making sure they weren't going overboard with the censorship thing, so they could have it backfire on them like incredibly. That's what I'd imagine would be the case in something like that, because there's a lot of like gray area to like tiptoe your way through legally.
Yeah.
Right.
And unfortunately, in like the environment of the internet today, that's unfortunately something that they really have to take into consideration, and just the way the internet is has probably really hindered any action that they've been wanting to take on that, I would assume. So that could be why it's taken so long. But
I think if Twitch would have called on their creators, hey, this is something we want to look into, we want you guys to take part of it, that would have been like incredible, because there's so many streamers out there who have had like viewers actually show up to their house in the middle of the night.
That's terrifying.
That is the terrifying thing.
Yes, it could happen to anyone.
And it's really dangerous for high profile content creator. I don't know if you know who Crane Gameplays is, Ethan, who does a lot of stuff with like Markiplier and stuff like that. He had someone walk up to his house. I think Markiplier even posted saying that he thinks a delivery driver told someone where he lived, because he had a random show up to his house. It's been so it happens to the bigger guys.
I mean, like well, maybe not at that scale. Gavin Free of the Slow Mo guys and his girlfriend Meg Turney, they had someone break into their house with a gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect had his house shot at while he was streaming.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, there's crazy shit that goes on, and
there's crazy shit and crazy people, you know.
I think Twitch and the other platforms as well in general have just waited too long to really put some things in place that would provide that protection for their content creators. And they've seen stuff like this happen more and more frequently over the past couple of years. So it just, why did they wait so long?
Right. But the point is, they got it implemented though.
Yeah.
The other night, I had a private conversation with my moderators about community safety, because we had found out something about someone in our community was in jail for something, so we had to ban them from everything. But I was deeply disturbed, because this is someone that I had become close to, and this was something that I had not expected of them, and I was concerned about this person getting close to other people and they not knowing. And I was like, look, I would be okay with like a background check is like $15 to $25. If my TwitchCon ticket, if I had to pay an extra $25 so everyone got background checked to make sure that people that had like sexual or like really harmful nature backgrounds, like they weren't going to be there and allowed to be there, I would freaking pay for it. I don't care. Like I would pay extra to make sure that I and my other friends are safe. Because, and like someone that I was also friends with was talking about how there was all these hot streamers that he wanted to hook up with, and like, but he also didn't talk to them. He was one of those people that just was like, he just stayed in the Airbnb, but he was like, oh yeah, I would do this to her, and I'm like, ew, stop. What are you, like, people are so freaking creepy. It's so disgusting and so creepy.
And that's my biggest fear, is because like you know, when it comes to like, I'm super excited for TwitchCon, by the way. I'm really hoping it happens.
I was gonna say
yeah.
Well, if it happens, hopefully, fingers crossed. I have been told by Bella, a Yellow Spoon Girl, for those of you who know who she is. She has told me that regardless whether it gets canceled or not, I have to come over there anyway. she's putting on SpoonCon if it doesn't happen. That's what she said. She's putting on SpoonCon.
Hey,
She's just gonna buy like a bunch of plastic spoons and paint them yellow. And give them out.
I was still tempted to, like, even if it doesn't happen, just take a vacation. Go to San Diego and take a vacation for like a week.
I think a lot of people would do that. A lot of people would like just go to San Diego anyway and be like, let's meet up.
Oh yeah, we're just in the area casually.
Yeah.
Fuck a travel ban. What's going on in San Diego?
We only drove
September?
24 hours to get here. We were self-isolated in the car. It's fine.
Yeah, we were by ourselves in the car. We're by ourselves in the hotel. We're by ourselves climbing palm trees. I'm doing shit. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, we're self-isolating in the same bar together. We're there's 6 drinks apart. That's.
Oh man.
But no,
Twitch
it's
edition.
I'm very cautious of myself when it comes to the internet anyway. And like basic drinks, exactly. You know, just they're all empty. I drank them. Sorry, but no, I'm very cautious of myself on the internet, and especially after that one. And I'm always gun shy with trolls because of that one guy. That for those of you that came in late, we were talking about a troll that popped in our second podcast that made a whole bunch of Eric is blank very bad things, and like Kurt says, the reason he's a mod because he was the only one there, and. We had this massive issue with that, and we had someone that came into my stream last week, and I was playing Tales of Symphonia, which is a JRPG, and he came in and goes, "Oh my god, this game is TOS!" And I panicked, and I went, "What do you mean? What about it? Like, this game's not on any ban list. It's a freaking, it's PG, it's a rated T for teen game. It's not even immature. What do you mean it's TOS?" So I was freaking out about it, and he goes, "No, I'm serious. It's TOS." And I was like, okay, and I just kind of ignored it because I didn't know if it was a troll. And literally, thank you for the follow, Infinite. I rated Leppely, and someone goes, "Oh my god, I love TOS," and I went, "Tales of Symphonia. It's TOS."
Wow.
And I feel like shit because I literally lost a viewer because I ignored them because I legit thought it was a troll trying to get me to trip up.
People gotta be understanding of that though too.
When they say TOS.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it. That attack. Oh yeah, I do remember that bit. I remember that. The bit had someone that I don't remember fully that story, but yeah, I do remember Bit talking to us about that. Bit, by the way, guys, BitQuest has been someone that we've known for a couple years back when we did YouTube. He's a really great guy. I think he's getting back into streaming too.
He's trying to. I saw he was live testing stuff the other day.
So thank you for popping in. He's our friend from Australia. So thank you for popping in.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's late or early for you.
I think it's early.
It'd probably be like midday. No, midday.
I think he's like mid-morning. I think it's like 17 hours.
9:05 p.m. Yeah, it's 9:05 here as well. But so. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he banned from bad attitude, just like everything. So, Twitch. The point is though, Twitch did give us that tool, and we should be thankful that yes, it came late. It came, and that's the point.
They got a smiley face sticker because they did something.
The problem that Twitch had. I don't know if you guys know about this one or not. Claps for Twitch. I don't know if you guys know about this. So Twitch did a charity stream yesterday where they had a whole bunch of bands and comedians and stuff like that. They did a big 12-hour show. Someone on the docket goes by the name of Die Antwood or Antword or something like that.
Oh yeah,
I believe.
What the fuck is that man doing on a charity stream?
Yeah.
For a platform that has a large quantity of LGBTQ people on it. Why is that man had no. Who the fuck on Twitch went and go, "That's a guy we should get on here"?
Yeah, as soon as I saw like the like list of people, I saw their name and I was like, aren't they racist?
Yeah.
Like, there's a video of them actually attacking a guy, yelling racist slurs.
Yeah, and there's one with LGBT slurs as well.
It's just,
I think it's Die Antwood. I think is his name.
It's D. Antwood.
D. Antwood.
It's spelled Ant word.
It's the Ant word. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I don't know how the fuck it's pronounced. I don't care about the dude, so
somewhere in Germany or wherever.
Yeah, my thing though is like Twitch wants to be very, like, they want to be an inclusive platform, right? They want to know how they can involve more communities and be more welcoming. Meanwhile, they bring in a racist and homophobic band. Like, I don't give a damn if you're raising money for COVID. Like, find someone else.
I would watch the stream.
Yeah.
And find someone else. I don't care what you're raising money for.
If I'm not mistaken, there is a video of him attacking a man because he was gay, like physically attacking him. Like, that's what I heard.
From the little research that I did, because I didn't know who this person was, and quite frankly, I was glad that was the case when I found out more about them. But when I looked into it, it was something like I believe mid-2019, where there was a video caught of him and like his girlfriend or wife or something attacking like a gay man, like. Like verbally, I believe so. But yeah. It's
they've been very controversial over the past couple years, because I remember they were bigger in like the early 2000s ish, music wise, and then they kind of fizzled out for a while, and then they kind of resurged and then just became super controversial. Everything came out and they were like, these people are homophobic, they're racist, they're terrible, and yet everybody is still listening.
Twitch was like, hey, guess what? You should be on our platform.
These are the perfect people to bring in for this event that's really supposed to bring everyone together. Let's bring in the racists and the homophobes too.
I don't think that they do the research.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
Because during like
a lot of them don't look at that shit.
Well, they also had during one of the events that they had, they were trying to celebrate Black content creators, and they had a content creator who had actually been like targeting other Black content creators and calling them racial slurs. And it's like, excuse me, what? Do you not pay attention to this?
I don't think anybody did any research.
YouTube has the exact same problem as well. It's that kind of like they look at like they don't read into shit enough, and that's just a general problem across all these platforms. Whereas like they see someone and go, yeah, that'll be, this person's got like a good community or whatever, like decently sized. Okay, bring them in.
That's basically it. They look at it and they're like, oh yeah, this person, this creator will bring in X number of people. Estimated. Let's just bring them in, and they don't bother to look into like anything of their past, anything like that. And I get like that's a thing that happens because Hollywood has that issue constantly. Like that's why there's been such a resurgence of like the Me Too and like all that stuff, because all of these Hollywood people have horrible pasts. But like they just nobody like looks into it. They're just kind of like, hey, this name will bring a lot of people in. Sign them up.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Him, don't get me started on him, but oh my god, that band. I don't know too much about that band.
I'm gonna stop you right there, because personally, I love that band. But that leads back to my early 2000s high school days. We don't talk about that, so I just have a soft spot for them. Anyway, continue.
I have a step cousin that went full on Satanist, like legit Satanist, because of him. Because of that band. Like that was her reasoning for doing it, was because he did it. Like that was why she did it.
Whenever you
she
say
tried to
him,
stab me.
She tried
to stab me with a knife.
That's all I think of when you say that.
Even though I know it's the band, that's always still what I think about too. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So Twitch did good, Twitch did bad this week. That is kind of how that is as they say is that.
Yep.
Overall, I feel like when it comes to that, I feel like that was mostly an oversight. I don't want to sit there and think that Twitch didn't. Obviously, Twitch didn't do their research. I don't want to say they did it. I don't think they picked him in spite of what he did or what he stands for. I think they picked him because they didn't do enough research to realize what he did or stands for. So I don't want to sit there and say that Twitch is...
They probably picked them because one of the people who was picking stuff like the band back in the early 2000s.
Yeah. I am still going to hold Twitch. Like, even if Twitch like came up with this new feature, great. I'm still not gonna let them off the hook though, because my thing is, whenever you bring in people that have such controversial stands, you're also bringing in that community that supports that view. We don't want people that support that on Twitch. Like, honestly, like, I don't want people who support racism and homophobia on Twitch, because then they find their way into our communities. We don't want that.
You know, you're a company that's worth $5 billion at the end of the day, and you're owned by a company that's worth over $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Do some fucking research.
You've got the payroll for it. Just do it. Just do the fucking hire me. I'll do the research for you.
I need a second job or a third job. Technically, this is kind of a second job.
I've spent a majority of the past 20 years of my life on the internet researching bullshit. I'll do it. I'll do it for relatively cheap, too.
And she is a perfectionist at doing it.
And you can work from home online. So,
hell yeah. Sign me up.
Yeah.
So, for moving on a little bit here, for those of y'all that don't know,
that was a good tie-in, Eric.
Thank you. I'm very good at, by the way, I am very good at pulling these tie-ins out of my ass. You will see going forward. I will do it again. So, Kenzie, third artifact here, does her own podcast. It's called Thought Talks. Are you planning on bringing that back soon?
It was supposed to come back today, but I didn't get a confirmation from half the panel.
Oh no.
So I know, like, when we get into like putting together podcasts. Yeah. Oh my god. The like bad part about podcasts is you have to rely on other people. I hate relying on other people so much.
Yeah.
People are so unreliable.
Especially when one of the main third falls asleep and forgets to let us know that he's took a nap. And we call him on 4 different forms, and he messages back 2 hours in and going, "Sorry, I fell asleep." Vivid.
Meanwhile, we're going, is he dead? Oh my god.
He says that bearing in mind, even though when I am here, I'm here before he is. And I'm also usually the most prepared for this podcast.
Okay, look, we don't have to go there, okay? I was just trying to... but yes, tell us about your podcast.
So my podcast is called Thought Talks. It's a very controversial name for a reason, because people either love it or they hate it, and I want to get a reaction out of people with the name alone.
That's the exact same reason that I named my 2 shows what I named them, is because I want people to look at them and go like have a mini freak out.
Well, people even ask me, like, how do you market it? I'm like, honestly, the name markets it on its own. Like, I haven't touched it. Oh yeah, I've barely touched it, and I've still been gaining followers from it. People are still asking about it. People are still buying merch for it. But basically, Thought Talk started out as a podcast where I was gonna have women come on and talk about being a woman in the gaming atmosphere, and what made that different from just being a guy, or what made it different from even being open about what your gender was in general.
I think a lot of people tend to ignore, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Mike James actually helped me come up with the idea, because I actually messaged him freaking out, and I postponed it for 2 weeks because I was like, I can't even think of the name. So he gave me the name, and I was like, all right, it's controversial. I'm okay with it. Let me check with everyone else. Everyone else supported it. But basically, it was people would come in and be like, oh, look at these girls, look at these Twitch thoughts. And so I wanted the name to reflect that whatever you say isn't going to stop us from doing what we do and who we are. So if you're going to call us names, that's fine and dandy. We'll just name a podcast after it. And
taking that name back.
Exactly. And every time someone's mad at it, I've only had like 4 people get mad. 1 girl, 3 guys. And they're all people who have that mindset of women should cover their chest when they stream. It's always the same people that get so upset about it because they know that they can't use that word in a derogatory way around the people that I'm with. So basically each week I have a different subject, and then I have a different guest panel around that topic. So we've had LGBTQIA, we have had cosplayers, we have had body positivity, just a lot of different things. Veterans, we've done a veterans podcast, which was really awesome, and it's all about just talking about things that we don't know about. I don't really talk a lot on my podcast. I let my guests do the talking because it's always topics I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what it is to be a veteran. I'm too lazy to sign up for something like that. So it's very important to me, very important to the community as well, and it just brings us all closer together, and that's what Thought Talks is.
There you go. Where's your applause?
It's my passion project.
Get the
claps in chat. I managed to catch a couple of them when you were doing them when I worked back at the old French restaurant I worked at, because Sundays were slow and I was able to watch it when I was up front. And it was a really nice show, but you usually had a lot of people, right? Wasn't it usually like you and about 4 others?
Yep, I had 4 guests. In one episode, I had 5 other guests.
How much trouble did you have getting different people every time, or do you tend to have a similar cast?
So there for a while I was gonna have like a cast where like the first episode we were gonna come back every other week and we were gonna just do like a catch up and chit chat sort of thing. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I really just want to feature more topics that are so informative that I can learn from and my community can learn from. Honestly, to be completely honest, it wasn't too hard to find people. The hard part was me being comfortable talking to people. The last time I posted that I was looking for people, I posted some topics I was looking for people to talk about, which was mental health. I wanted people who had mental health, like a situation with their own mental health, and people who are mental health professionals. I wanted to talk to musicians, artists, and there was one other one. And when I made that post, I actually made a copy pasta to reply to everyone because I received over 100 DMs.
Holy shit.
So it was really hard for me to go through and talk to people, and for me it was really hard to go through, especially like all the stories related to mental health, which was like 60-75% of it, because reading everyone's stories, like, it's so upsetting and it's so hard to get through them all. So I actually had my mods get into a call with me and we went through them all. But the hardest part is picking people, because I don't want people to feel like I'm picking favorites. I'm more so going by, okay, I'm gonna say, hey, tell me about yourself. What makes you passionate about this topic? A lot of people instantly were like, I don't think I'm a good fit. And I'm like, all right, so if you can't even talk about it, moving on. It was all about how they could reply to it. Could they have a conversation with me in a DM? And then could they have a conversation with me like right here, sitting here? And then I'd also look over their content as well and do my background research and make sure that they weren't psychotic people who were racist and homophobic. So
good job pulling me and wrapping that back around. I'm proud of you.
You're already a step above Twitch and YouTube.
Doing my research that Twitch should damn well be doing, because I am protecting my community and my brand like they should be. So that was really the hard part. There is only like 2 bad situations I've had with my podcast. And the first one was the second episode I wanted to do fell apart completely. People bailed, people didn't reply, people weren't sending me the stuff that I need to be sent because I market it like a whole week in advance. So people, I don't think they were taking it as seriously as I was, so I called it off. And it's still a topic that I want to bring back and do again. I am just waiting on it because like I'm kind of scarred.
Yeah.
But I also like wanted to wait until I had a bigger reach to find other people.
Right.
Because it really sucks when you're trying to put this together and someone's like, oh, you want to do a video chat? I was just gonna voice call you from my boyfriend's house. No. No.
That was the big thing I used to do mine as well, was just kind of like getting the reach so people like take it seriously, because we did one-on-one interviews talking to creators about like their creative process. I mean, both Leb and Eric were both on it, but we discuss kind of video games that meant a lot to them from their past, the nostalgia they had with it, and we'd kind of go into the story as of why they enjoyed that and why it holds like a place in their heart. But obviously when that's the point of that podcast, a lot of people aren't too comfortable about talking that kind of stuff, and especially when you're smaller, a lot of people just don't take you very seriously.
No, I think that no matter what size your community is, you should be taking it seriously, like you as a creator, and other people watching you, because just because you average 3 viewers today doesn't mean you're not gonna average 300 viewers next year. Anyone could have that moment. So it's important to take it seriously, especially from like a networking standpoint. You're going to build that relationship with someone and build a friendship with them. And then the other issue I had was with the graphic design portion of it. I had someone that didn't want me to pay them for it, but I was paying for them to do the work for me anyway, to show my appreciation and respect for the work that they were putting into it. And then they ghosted me. And then when they came back, they were like super eager to start working for me again. I was like, perfect, cool, because I have waited over a month to do an episode because I don't want anyone else doing the work on this, because you have been my go-to person and you're my friend. I told them what I wanted. I gave them everything they needed in advance. They gave it back to me the day beforehand, after I had reminded them multiple times, hey, I still need this marketing done. And they had done the complete opposite of what I wanted. The complete opposite, the color scheme I gave them, and I was just like, oh my god. And then they told everyone that I wasn't crediting them properly for their work, and I was like, I have referred people to you, I have talked about you, I have paid you even though you told me not to. So that's the whole reason why I started doing Photoshop, was because I was like, I'm done relying on someone, I'm gonna do it myself. Haven't had an issue since, and I'm way happier with it now than when someone else was doing it.
That's why I have her.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
I just let her do it all.
That's basically what I'm here for.
Yeah, like, okay, so that whole promo that I posted on Twitter, I showed you what I had, and then I just said, Lep, I did something with it. I was like, Lep, I'm terrible at this. I can't do it. No problem. Yeah, I just gave it to Lep and said, Lep, please fix this, because this is garbage.
Yeah, it was basically, he posted it and was like, can one of you fix that? And I was just sitting down to do my homework this morning, and I was like, oh yeah, I can knock that out easy. I'll take care of it. That's no problem. And then I started working on it, and then spent like more time than I had anticipated, and was like, ha, I went a little overboard. I hope you like it here. Because I had kind of changed
As
it
if
all.
I'm a difficult person to like, oh yeah, this is garbage. No, did you see what we started with? Anything was an improvement.
That we're using, by the way. That's one that I made, hence why it doesn't.
Yeah.
Vivid made this. This is why it looks decent. It looks good.
Yeah.
If I had done this,
we're going to be making another one
straight.
soon. Because I do need to make another one, because this one's bugged me since I made it.
Well, and so on the graphic design topic, unfortunately, that's why I do all of my graphics, because I know how unreliable graphic designers and the like are, and my pigeon logo, I actually drew the pigeon all myself. I digitized it, vectorized it, did all the work on it, which was not my forte, and because I was like, I could have somebody do this, but it wouldn't probably be right, and also I just don't trust anybody to do it, so I'll just do it myself.
See, I have a similar issue to you in the terms of talking to people.
Who stole my pigeon, Cursed? Who do I have to track down?
Oh God, yeah. You have a huge issue with Amazon. Everyone on Amazon keeps using her images and shit like that. And so
I keep finding my my T-shirt and a mug with my design on it pirated on Amazon. I've had to issue like 12 DMC takedown notices.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
in like the past
Bezos.
In like just the past like 4 months.
13 when I started found out who the fuck Bomber Crew is.
Yeah, fucking, I'm Googling. I'm doing my research now.
I bet you there's probably like a graphic designer on Fiverr who is using it and people are paying for it. That might be something that's going on.
Well, and I also, my friend sent me a logo one time, and it was just an ad on Facebook, and it's just called Pigeon. and it's basically my logo, but like flipped. So it's facing the other direction. It's different colors. It's stylized differently, but it's just essentially a simple pigeon head in a circle. And I was like, hold the fuck up. What is happening? And I tracked them down. I didn't have any like name to go on. I just had this logo. And I tracked their ass down because, y'all, I'm just saying my internet sleuthing skills are second to none. Don't test me. Just don't.
That pigeon on that game does look kind of similar to you.
I gotta pull it up now.
While she's doing that.
Yeah.
It's not similar enough, but it's similar.
So
I'm having to deal with that. Ugh.
I have an issue when it comes to talking to people to be on this podcast. And it's more, it kind of goes with the perfectionism and anxiety as a creator, which was the main topic about this stream. I mean, me and you were friends, and I literally had typed out that message to ask you to be on this thing at work, and then went, that doesn't read right. Nope, I don't like that. And then I got distracted at work, completely forgot about it. And then we just happened to be talking about that thing from stream, and I went, oh shit, would you like to, like, it's just, I don't think about it. And it's just like, I'm so, and mostly it's because, like you said, you kind of wanted to wait until you had a bigger reach. I'm terrified that no one's going to want to spend their time on it. Right? Like, no one's going to want to take the hour or so out of their hour and a half out of their day to want to be a part of this because, there isn't a big reach for it. That's what kind of like, the anxiety does to me. It's like, I'm very proud of this podcast. People that do show up, people that watch it, they speak very highly of it. God, holy that was way too much like Trump. I apologize. I'm gonna try to reword that. This is the great podcast. Everyone loves it.
We have the best podcast. Everybody loves this podcast.
Like, speak very highly of it.
But no, like people, like I've heard a lot of really good reviews for this podcast, which is why we keep doing it. Which is why I spend more time planning for this than I do my actual streams during the week. But because I'm very proud of this podcast, and I'm very proud of the way
that's 100% true. By the way, we've seen him plan for this and his streams. We've been part of that process.
Like they'll be like, what are you doing tonight? Fuck if I don't know. It's like, dude, you stream in an hour. Oh shit, I should probably figure out what game I'm playing, shouldn't I? But meanwhile, I'm planning topics and like guests a week ahead. Like, yeah, I take
sometimes
this
3 weeks ahead.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah. But like, I'm really, really proud of it, and I'm terrified of like, this is a big passion project for me. Everything Fireside Entertainment, which by the way, for those of y'all that are new, Fireside Entertainment is the group that the three of us created. It's supposed to be basically an area for creators of different kind, musicians, artists, streamers, etc., to come together and hang out and associate with each other. Right? It's not a fan Discord for the three of us. It is just a group that we've made.
It's also not a stream team or anything.
Yeah, it's not a stream team yet. It could one day be when every one of us is partner.
At the moment,
it's just chill by the fire with your buds.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole beer.
Yeah,
that's
the whole concept of it. Like, we have a whole bunch of different like channels, people to hang out in.
The whole thing has a very like campy campfire feel, sitting around the campfire, chilling with your buddies, roasting some marshmallows, getting some of that hot gossip,
the only streams that we promote on there is Fireside production level. Like this stream we share on there, and then obviously Vivid's got a project that he's working on that we're gonna share there. But it's always been a big passion project for me, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm terrified to promote it because I don't know if anyone's gonna want to spend time. The two of them, they've got no problem talking about it, but I'm terrified to promote it because it's just like, is anyone gonna want to spend the time there, right? Like, is it worth? What have I done to make this worth anyone spending time on? And that eats at me so bad because I'm a perfectionist. I'm a very imperfect perfectionist. I want everything to go perfect. I want everything to be great. I want everything to look great. And I know it's not going to, so it's like, why bother? Like, that's the anxiety part of my brain that kicks in.
Right.
And it's just it's all I struggle so much at reaching out to people and ask people to be on this thing.
It's a hard thing to do.
And I have and I only need to find one person. You have to find 4.
Yeah.
Like, that's why when I see people that do it, like I don't know if you follow Sierra Grove at all, but she just started her podcast. and she had like butt juice and Oreo side and people like that, and then I'm just like, how the fuck did you think to ask them people? Like, what? Like, I would never think to ask Oreo side to be on this podcast. There's no way he's gonna want to be on this. Like, that's where it's just like, how do you do this?
So the thing
Something
you
tells
gotta...
me Oreo side would. I don't know why. He just strikes me as the kind who would.
I feel like he would definitely consider it, at least.
So the thing you gotta remember when reaching out to other creators to be on a podcast is that we as creators love attention and we love talking.
That's why I think Oreo's side would do it.
Yeah, definitely.
People are like, oh, you just want the spotlight. Well, yeah, I'm a content creator. I want the spotlight. It's about me.
Well done, I'm on Twitch.
Yeah. So, like, I love being part of podcasts because I like talking. I don't like shutting up. I love talking. My parents used to get on me all the time, like, you talk too much. Yeah, and I'm not gonna stop. That's why I love Twitch. That's why I love being on podcasts. I love talking.
It works out.
Yeah. So you gotta remember that, like, a lot of people, honestly, just like the sound of their own voice.
I hate
it. And they like to say that they're gonna be, oh, this week I'm gonna be on this podcast, this week I'm gonna be on this, because it does make them feel and look more important, regardless of the size of the audience. So like me, you were like, you want to be on a podcast? I'm like, heck yeah, I haven't done one forever. I love podcasts. I love just sitting and shooting the shit. I'll do it. Yeah, let's go. What's the topic? I'll talk about anything.
Yeah.
If I don't know jack shit about it,
she was like, what's the topic? I was like, I haven't figured that part out yet. She goes, great, I don't care, whatever it is, just let me know. It's like, all right, shit, cool, this one's gonna write itself, great. But you know,
I'll sit here and I'll talk about feet. I don't care.
Okay, so next week.
That'll really get the followers coming.
Oh
in.
yeah, we're gonna talk about feet pics next week. Is there a market for male feet pics? Your boy is suffering from this quarantine.
I made one joke on Twitter about having smelly shoes one day, and the DMs have just been rolling in for the past 3
I
months.
saw them.
One joke. That's an obvious joke. I don't. Feet people y'all are weird.
Oh my god.
I don't know about you feet people.
Nomad toenail pics now.
The best one is yeah, what is it? Is it Send Feet guy on Instagram, the meme one?
Yeah, send feet.
He just comments on people's photos and just says send feet, and that's
send feet. Yep.
Honestly, I think the feet fetish people are like the cinnamon rolls of the fetish community, because there are so many weirder things out there.
Really, like, there really are.
And I'm just like, I don't. Okay, no, thank you. Like, I've seen some weird stuff.
Like, it's not my jam. I get it, but you know, you do you. I'm not gonna crap all over that if that's your thing. And like, I had one foot guy like message me on Instagram, and he was very nice, and he was like. He would like comment on my pictures and be like, I really liked this one. It's really nice, and it's a great photo. And I was like, dude, you're like analyzing my foot pics, and I'm just showing off my cool ass socks. Can you not? But he was like super nice, and I was like, I'm not gonna be mean to you because you're just like living your life, and I can't knock that.
Man's writing a dissertation on your socks.
Thanks for gassing me up this week.
Yeah, it's really great. I appreciate the compliments. I know my socks are amazing, but I'll take it.
Nice Tom Hanks curse.
Oh crap! I forgot about the Tom command.
You should probably have to. Yeah, that command's an inside joke.
I forgot all about the Tom command.
All about that command too. But yeah, so I don't know. That's always been something that ate up at me when it came to podcasts and stuff like that. And then just like making sure. And then for this podcast, obviously, we were talking about it beforehand. Something always goes wrong. And it's a meme
something always goes wrong.
That something always goes wrong. And I was talking. I even messaged Bella today, and I was like, I'm really freaking out about this podcast. And then she goes, why? And I was like, because I'm tired of everything going wrong. And with Kinsey being on the show tonight, it wouldn't be a
Fireside stream if something didn't.
And I was just like, with Kinsey being on the show tonight, I don't want anything to go wrong.
I think my anxiety is worse when things on my streams actually go right. Because I'm so used to having, like, I got a brand new computer back in February. I'm so used to having just like one thing after another just shit the bed when I'm streaming. And so I finally had like really good streams and nothing went wrong. And I was like, I remember you did a what's happening?
And you posted in the chat, it was like, guys, I didn't even drop a frame.
I know, I was like, I didn't drop a single frame. What's happening?
But,
it's wild.
I can't wait to do
but yeah, there is a certain vulnerability that comes with reaching out to people online, whether it's to like invite them onto your show or invite them onto your stream, or just even like reaching out because you're like, hey, I want to reach out to this person because we have things in common. We both stream, we both play this game, and I just want to reach out. Like, there's a certain like vulnerability that you have to get past that really like creeps in and eats away and really kicks your anxiety up like tenfold every time. And it's just, I think it's just like the innate like I don't want anything to go wrong kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, and I, it kind of goes back to like being perfectionist and creation is kind of like the main topic of today, perfectionism and anxiety. I have actually, Vivid, you were the one that brought it up because I know you were going through it this week.
One second, we had someone join us. Just 1 second, I'm just going to explain the situation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I muted him.
Wait, what's going on?
We had someone join us in the Discord. I'm just explaining the situation to them.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Someone hopped into voice chat.
The room settings. That's what was wrong. That's what's wrong in this podcast.
That's what went wrong tonight was the room settings.
That we fixed, by the way, but still went wrong.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to take a look at that.
We'll figure that out.
For me, the time that I'm always the most anxious about like getting into the podcast is when I'm in that voice call right beforehand, and I'm like, all right, this is the first time any of us are talking, most likely, because I bring in like people I don't really know that well, and I'm like, okay, I hope I don't mess this up.
It wasn't working right. They all went weird, Chris.
Y'all keep talking for just a second. I have to just double check on something. My brother's called me 3 times. I just want to make sure he's okay. So I'm gonna block my screen. Y'all keep talking. I'll be right back.
Well, I'll keep talking. I'm fine with that. Let's go, boys. Let's go. So, when I did my LGBTQIA plus episodes, one of my guests, or no, not even that episode. It was streaming with a disability. One of my guests identifies as non-binary, and I told my guest, I said, if I use a wrong pronoun with you or anything like that, please correct me as soon as I do it. And like, even still, then like I still get very anxious because I'm like, I don't want to mess this up because I'm one of those people that uses guys, you guys, hey guys. And that's something that I myself have to get better at. Or dude, I always say dude.
I'm exactly the same.
It's just
like I was like, dude.
A go-to.
Everything is dude. I grew up like with a whole bunch of surfers down on the beach, so everything is dude. Inanimate objects.
I grew up with American
male,
TV, so
male, female. It's all dude, and I can't break myself of that habit.
Right. It's so hard. It really is. So my anxiety comes from things like I don't want to upset someone or offend someone.
Yeah.
I don't want something to go wrong. So I actually, when Eric was like, yeah, we get in like 30 minutes beforehand to set up, I was like, I get in an hour before my podcast starts. And I'm like, all right, guys, let's run through the questions, get kind of everyone in the mood. Let's test the audio, visual. Like I do so much because like I'm so scared something's gonna go wrong. Most of the time something does, whether it's one of the episodes I didn't have the guests go around and introduce themselves.
Oh no.
Disconnection issues. I didn't have like the names like placed correctly, just the silliest little details, and I just like lose my mind over it. Yeah, or my dog's barking in the background, like he's whining at my door, and I'm just like, please don't. Don't start. Your bark is so high pitched. Like
when we used to run it, we'd do an hour in advance the setup when I used to do my podcast, and most of that was just me like having to go through what's going to happen with people, And
Right.
I should really try it again because now I'm much more prepared to do so. But it was a real fucking shit show back then because it was like I didn't have the tools like I do now where I can mute Discord separately and have stream not hear that. So I'd have to like mute them in Discord so they could still hear me so they know when I'm going to it was a freaking mess, and my anxiety always popped up when I was like, I gotta remember to unmute them. I gotta remember to unmute.
I just kept a to-do list. I had a to-do list written out, and I kept it right in front of my monitor next to the questions I was going to ask that I also sent to my guest, so they knew what was coming.
It's always good to send questions beforehand.
Yeah.
I always tried to give the guest an option for that.
See, I feel like we get away with that on this podcast. By the way, my brother's fine. He didn't realize I was streaming. I feel like we get away with that on this podcast a little bit because of how we designed it to be a casual conversation. It's just, bouncing off each other. Really. Half the time we kind of ramble on relating to the topics. And I like that feel, and I feel like it's a very unique feel because there are most other podcasts are very like uptight, professional kind of type deals going in, like outline wise.
Right.
We get away with that here because of how we design it, but absolutely for like Vivid's podcast, because for those of you that don't know, Vivid is a gaming journalist. He has a degree in that, and so his podcast is centered around a lot of gaming news and stuff like that. So for him, you do kind of have to be knowledgeable on what you're bringing to the table, and you do have to kind of do some prior research of that because you're actually talking about. You don't want to be talking out your ass on a news-related type deal. Right. But for this podcast, we kind of get away with it a little bit. Like for your podcast, you have a very sensitive topic, and everyone wants to make sure they get their voice heard. So you want to be, well structured, stuff like that. Exactly, wing it, baby. That's my motto. It shouldn't be, but it is.
That's how we roll.
The craziest things, like. My entire life, anything that I wing always turns out better than the stuff I planned.
100%.
Like,
100%.
School, wing it all the time. If I put effort into it, my grade just dropped.
I winged an entire degree.
Absolutely. My biggest confirmation of that was in a public speaking class when I was in college the first time, and I did like all of my other speeches, did them like the morning of. And my class was at 8 a.m. So I was writing the speech at 7:30 as I'm sitting at my desk, just I'm just taking notes. So I'm just gonna do it on the fly and improv. I got A's on all of them until our final speech. And I was like, I need to ace this. I'm gonna do really well. She's given us 2 weeks to prepare. I'm gonna prepare and I'm gonna work all super hard, all the way leading up to it. And I completely bombed and got a D. And I was like, I'm never preparing for anything ever again in my life. Fuck this. And I haven't since. And now it's going great. Now this go around, I'm basically still BSing my way through this new degree that I'm working on, and I have a 3.9 GPA. So
nice.
I wrote the same essay 5 times in university. Because it was the same topic, because journalism allows you to write about the same shit over and over again. It was basically the exact same essay, and it worked every single time. And the other one for that, the other 2 major ones was my final project was a 6-part documentary series, which completely collapsed a week and a half before the deadline.
I remember this.
So
I remember that, yeah. Oh,
so
God.
I ended up working 2 literally seconds before the deadline before submitting. And I got one of the highest grades you can get on that. And the other one was my PR module, because I also did PR as part of that, which is why I'm usually the PR person for our streams. And Fireside in general.
We make him actually
do y'all notice how this works now? I come up with the ideas, and then I just let them do it.
So what happened there was we had to do a press conference, a mock press conference, talking about a problem that went wrong with this PR campaign we were running. I walked in literally about maybe 20 seconds before we started, had my coat on whilst doing the conference because I hadn't taken it off yet, and we just passed completely bullshitted my way through because I'm so good at just talking shit and disarming situations with people. I somehow passed. It was this is great.
Yes.
It feels good. It feels good when that happens.
Nomad being all Steve Jobs, 100%. 100%.
Me and Leppely definitely the Wozniak.
Oh, totally. 100% Wozniaks here.
To be fair, y'all do better than I do. But I do want to mention one thing here. Doug, by the way, Douglas and Dragons is one of my good friends. He's an amazing musician. I highly recommend him as well. He was like, for me, I fear being misunderstood and someone taking my words and twisting them. I have that issue too, and it's because
that's inevitable.
Yes, that's inevitable.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a thing on Twitter I saw. I don't know the dude's name. He's a very prominent in UK news. And an article by the Daily Mail came out was like
that's problem number one.
Yeah, and he was like so you're safer in your thank you for the host by the way, Kenai. But it was like you're safer in your cars, and he was like, this guy wants everyone in the UK to drive regardless of the stay-at-home order. And the guy was like, no, that's not what I said. What I said was the people that have to work should be able to park at their jobs and not have to pay for parking or pay for the buses. They should be able to drive their cars. Like, that's what he said, and it like blew it all out of proportion. It was just crazy. That type of stuff you just kind of have to go with it, you know?
If I had $1 for every time someone misunderstood a tweet I made, oh my god. I'd have so much money. Sometimes I want to pull my hair out. When I make a tweet, I go in. Like, sometimes, you just have those good ones where you're like, oh, I'm going to get some good responses on this. And I'm like, I'm going to take bets. I'm going to write down all the responses I think I'm going to get that are going to be people misunderstanding what I say. And it's going to be like a bingo card.
An opinion about a game, this is exactly what I do.
Yeah, you already know the crap you're going to get. And then you see it and you're just like, yep, look, I know, dude. I know.
Yep. That's me on Facebook.
I think the best example of that is probably on Vivid's Fallout. Was it Fallout 76? So Vivid does gaming reviews and stuff like that.
Death Stranding video are fantastic.
Yeah. So Vivid does gaming journalists, and one of his shows is How Bad Can It Be? And he did one for Fallout 76, and at the time it wasn't buggy because he did it right at launch, and it wasn't that bad. And he praised the game. He's like, yo, this game's actually pretty fun with friends. And the comments he got were volatile garbage. That was just
I got
like,
accused
you're a
of being
shit.
paid by Bethesda.
Yes. They legit were like, you got paid by Todd to do this, didn't you?
And someone was, you shill. And I was like, Bethesda aren't going to pay me to say something nice about Fallout.
Bethesda's going to pay someone that has 70 subscribers at the time to talk good about their video, the game.
Oh, God.
But yeah, my Death Stranding one was great because someone literally made up a quote from the video and commented on it. Like, I was talking about it because Death Stranding's a controversial game. That, I think, goes without saying. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. But I could also see why people wouldn't. And one of the things I was like, I like the performances in this game. Some of them are pretty jarring, but other ones are genuinely fantastic. And someone made up a complete quote. It was like, I completely ignored the part where I was like, some of them are really bad. And then someone just like, you think the acting is like magnificent in this game? What? I was like, I didn't even. I went back and watched the video. I was like, I didn't even fucking say that at any point. I was like, I read the script back as well. I was like, I didn't fucking say that.
Yeah, Vivid actually scripts his videos.
People go in with preemptive thoughts and an opinion already formed.
The show's called How Bad Can It Be? Because if I play a good game that people like, people are gonna be like, what's he gonna say?
Yeah. But circling back to the concern about people mistaking misunderstanding and running with it, is if you can think about, okay, what are all the different ways that someone could take this and how can I address it when that is brought up? That's the best thing that you can do. So if you know, some people, for example, I have a nice tweet in mind that I'm going to tweet on Monday. And I'm trying to think of a way to word it because it's one of those men say this, also men, and I know I'm going to get the not all men. So I'm trying to think ahead of, okay, how can I avoid this altogether? And if I do still get these comments, yeah, how can I how can I respond to this in a way that they're not going to be like, this chick's a bitch? You know, how can I prepare ahead of time? And that helps out a lot. And there's been a lot of situations where people would go in and say something really negative about me, but I've already thought up of their response and how I'm going to reply, and I talked to them about it, and that changed their mindset completely, and they ended up being chill with me, and we're now friends.
You know who gets a lot of that? Yellow Spoon Girl.
Oh,
Bella?
yeah.
For those of y'all that don't know who Bella is,
Her Twitter is something else.
Bella has a certain flair to herself and her streams and her online personality. And she is very blunt about a lot of things. And she posts clips. And some of the responses that she gets on her clips are like worse than what she said. Like there's some dudes that just don't get it. And it's just like, this tweet wasn't about you unless it was. Yeah. And if it's like, not about you, fucking ignore it.
Don't make it about you.
Yeah, because you ever heard the thing where if the shoe fits?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is people comment on stuff and it's like, you know what, this wasn't about you.
Hey, Emmy.
But if the shoe fits, fuck off. Like, take the advice.
We were looking for Cinderella and look, it fits on your feet now.
Found it.
Fits, buy it and get the fuck out of my shoe store, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. You also gotta decide, like, if you see something that you're like, okay, that could also be about me. Is it by someone that you actually care about their opinion enough to listen?
Yeah.
You know, like if someone were to be like, oh man, I hate when people use the word thought, like in podcasts and stuff, because I think they, you know, like they want to regain it. Even if it's someone that doesn't know me or what I do, I would look at it and be like, I actually don't care who that person is. I'm not going to get ate up about it. I'm going to keep living my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Like right now on Twitter, I just have a countdown, like a random no context countdown going on. And Eric's asked me about it, and I'm not going to say what it's about. Because I know he wants to know, and I have something planned for the reveal of that, and I have no idea how it's going to go down. But
I want to know what it's about, but I haven't asked because I'm just like,
you'll find out.
It'll happen when it happens.
Do you know how many times? If I had $1.
Oh Jesus! Sorry, y'all. Hold on, I'll mute myself. Never mind.
Why is your house burning down live on stream?
It's the bees, they're back.
The kitchen bees are back. Oh god.
Oh god.
No, they were making pizza, and I'm sure they probably burned something. Also,
the real Fireside house.
Made pizza. It's about to be a real Fireside chat.
Oh man. No, but like so.
I heard Ben swat the smoke detector off the ceiling and heard it hit the floor. So.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay. It's fine.
No. So do you? If I had $1,
the show goes on.
If I had $1 for every time I get called a simp online. Because I have, well, it's just like, okay, so I have, the way I treat social media is, if I have a friend, regardless of the gender, and King Beta Simp, yeah, exactly. If they have a banging, like, selfie, I'm gonna comment on it and be like, yo, that's fucking, that's amazing. Like, I've commented on your eyeshadow before. I'm always commenting on Bella, Sunny. Like, I comment on dudes. My friend Cricket Ricky posts, like, banging ass selfies. Dude, I'm gonna comment on it. Like, I don't give a shit. You gotta call me a simp because... You know, shut the hell up, both of you. Jeffy and Curse. But, you know, it's just like, I don't understand why... I can't even formulate exactly why I'm so frustrated.
I love this topic.
I feel like Kenzie needs to do a spin-off podcast with dudes called Simp Symposium.
Simp Symposium? Holy shit!
Just call it Symposium.
So there's irony here because I actually, because of my the way my subathon went, I'm actually coming out with a mod talks where I'm doing a podcast with my moderators, and toxic masculinity is going to be one of the topics. And I want to touch on the topic of men call other men simps, because I think it really comes from a place of this guy sees someone respecting a woman and they're like, you respect a woman? Okay.
Did you say she's beautiful? It's because you want to fuck her, isn't it? That's why. No, it's a friend.
You can respect someone without wanting to get in their pants? That's impossible, dude.
You can. How dare you tell them that they are beautiful and make them feel good? Maybe they're having a bad day. They should feel bad.
That wraps back around to like incels and their hatred of the White Knight.
I White Knight
it's
proudly.
So
all right, I don't even care.
Those fragile egos.
My last podcast I did, my IRL best friend, okay, my best friend,
milady.
my IRL best friend was in my stream and she was gassing me up. She's like, "Oh my god, I love you. You look gorgeous." Da, 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 da. And a newcomer into the chat was like, "You're such a simp." And I was like, "That's my IRL friend. I actually would simp for her. She's amazing and incredible." So I'm like, get out of here with this bullshit. Don't talk like that about other people. But I think like what it's gonna take is a bunch of like super attractive women with large followings to come out and be like, you know what's so attractive and such a turn on? When men simp for me. I love it.
Men are just total simps.
Well, no, because then they're gonna get called a thought. And we've done wrapped full circle.
I mean, we're full circle. No, because then they get called thoughts, and then the topic turns from like, oh, you're such a simp to you're not that hot anyway.
You're just using your body to get ahead.
You're an ugly bitch. That's all you are. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You just want people to compliment you. That's all you want.
I do.
What is so the technical definition bit? Because I don't know if y'all have this word in Australia. The technical definition for a simp is someone that unnecessarily puts a woman on a pedestal with normally the intent to sleep with them. It's basically like being fake nice. Right? You don't actually think the person's beautiful. You're just horny. That's technically what it means.
I legit, for the longest time, thought it was just someone calling someone a simpleton, like an idiot. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, well...
Yeah.
But that is technically what it's called. But then douchebags on the internet took the word and changed it to basically meaning anyone who decides to be nice to a woman is a simp. Because you can't be friends with women without sleeping with them. That's basically how the internet is.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, you can tell apart who the people are that are being nice to sleep with you and who are being nice to you because they want to be your friend. It's 100%. So easy. Yeah, because then they hit you up with that, I love you. I would want to marry you. Because they always do. They get there.
I would do anything to make you happy.
Yeah, they like start talking bad about your man, and it's all right. Listen, even if I was single, no, thank you.
Do you follow Popsicle Squish? Do you follow Popsicle Squish?
Yeah.
I love Ashley. So she posted something like she's always like very vocal about her husband. She posted one tweet, where her husband forgot something. Right? And so there was this dude that was like full serious going, I would never forget that. I would make sure you always had that. It was like a vegetable or something. Like he didn't he cooked dinner, but like all he cooked was like one meat or something like that. And he goes, I would never ever do that to you. And she was like, yeah, he doesn't normally either. Calm down. He was like, no, he was like full caps, like, no, you don't understand. And she eventually blocked him, but it was just like, dude, chill the fuck out. Like,
it's like one of those fucking crazy things, honestly, where you're just like, you have the super toxic masculinity people, and then the people who are just trying to sleep with people, and then just like normal dudes are just sat there in the middle, like the awkward child with the two parents that are arguing. They're just like, this is awkward. Why is everyone being a bit weird?
You can still like find your friends attractive. Like one of my friends sent me a selfie today, and I was like, "Damn, baby, yes." Don't want to sleep with her? No, but she could step on me. So
goddamn right.
Like you can, like you can still find people attractive, but like be like, you know what? There's still a line, you know, and a lot of people.
I'm fully in camp, like, gas your friends up constantly. Tell your friends you love them all the time, and just be positive and gas people up and make them feel good. But like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're like, I want in your pants. You're just like, I fucking love you because you're amazing. I don't want to sleep with you. And you're super hot. I don't have to sleep with you.
Like if I slept with everyone that said I had a great beard, I would not be single.
I do love you, Chris.
Yeah, like it's just like
I love all of you guys.
Oh please. We only shared a hotel room because I had nowhere else to go.
Hey, I shared a hotel room with you because I also at least trusted you to not be a complete simp. So
exactly. See, I'm a white knight, not a simp. There's a difference.
It's a marginal difference, but there's a difference.
There's a very clear line, very fine line, and I make sure I'm on the right side of it. Unless it's supposed to be on the left, and then I'm on the left side. But you know what I mean. Oh man! But seriously, thank you guys. Thank you all so much for coming in. Is there anything else that anyone will say about like anxiety as a creator or perfectionism as a creator? Any last minute touch up?
So don't be afraid that it's not gonna be perfect, because it's not, and that's okay. It's okay for it to not be perfect because you learn each time from those imperfections. Like I know like the guy that created the Dyson sweeper, I know this is so weird, but I think about this all the time. They had 200 times they failed making a product, but they didn't think that as a fail. They thought that as 200 ways that it's not going to be as good as what we want it to be. They learned 200 ways not to do it, rather than failing. So
I mean, for example, this is my third attempt at content creation. This is my third channel technically. First on Twitch, but the Nomad moniker, this is my third attempt at it. The first two didn't work at all. You know, this is the farthest I've gotten with anything like that. So yeah, it's the same deal.
Third time's a charm.
Exactly. And that anxiety of being a content creator absolutely never goes away.
Nope.
Yeah. Like, I know I've heard it from tons of like bigger content creators.
Bloody Faster is huge, and she's always worried about like her number drops a little bit and her anxiety kicks in. It happens.
Yeah, all the time. And people like I see people talking all the time about how they have to like take some deep breaths before they hit the go live button because they're stressing out so much because their anxiety is just so tied to it. But then once they do it, they're fine. And it's something that never goes away, and you just have to like work through it and accept it.
Videos, you know, it's definitely the same when I make videos. One of the biggest things I have is like I'm very much in control of the product that I make, and sometimes I wish I wasn't as in control of the product that I make. Because I was saying this to Kirsty the other day. So the way I write my show is I write scripts for every episode, and then I do the reading of the script. I have close to 10 scripts which have never been used, and the episode has never been made. They're fully completed scripts. I've done the game. I've just never made the episode, and they're just sitting there. Just because I didn't like something in the script, or I didn't like the way the footage worked out, or I didn't like something in the edit. I've literally cancelled a video like after I was pretty much done making it, just because I didn't like something about it. And it's just one of those things which doesn't go away, and you kind of just have to adjust to it and get used to it, because it's always going to be there, because you can always do something better, you know. Something can always be better for you.
And I think also a lot of creators have that initial like, I'm a failure because I didn't blow up overnight, you know. Like I've been doing this for over a year, you know. I celebrated my 1-year stream affiliate back in February, you know. I haven't gone anywhere with it, but that doesn't mean that I'm messing up. But my perfectionist mentality, my imperfect perfectionist mentality kicks in, and I'm just like, and what am I doing wrong? It's not anything I'm doing wrong. You know, it's a learning experience. You grow. Like, people make YouTube videos and they quit after 6 months because, I never gained any subscribers. It's like, you have to get better with every time, you know? What are you doing wrong? And I think that's what people focus on, the wrong thing. And sometimes it's an anxiety thing. Anxiety kind of triggers you to pay attention to certain things. But rather than look at what you're doing wrong, focus on what you did right. Look back at that stream. Look back at that overlay. Look back at that conversation. Sometimes look back at the people that you did it with. Some people just aren't good to record with. I had to learn that the hard way. The Nomads used to be 7 people. It's now 1. And then a whole bunch of people that joined me on occasion. I learned that the group that I was with, that I created, it just wasn't creating quality content. It was too many memes and inside jokes, and it's like, I can't build something this way. Sometimes you have to,
a successful person at the end of the day is just someone who failed until they didn't. So
exactly.
You know, you just gotta keep at it. You know, at the end of the day, that's how it's gonna just how it is.
It's only because Third was here, but she made everything work. What do you do Sunday night? We don't need guests, right? We don't.
We could make a 5-person panel. We couldn't use it until we upgrade from Whereby, but we can do one.
No. If we put a 5th person on this stream, I'm just gonna throw my goddamn computer out the window. I'm not even gonna bother with
no monitors.
Oh yeah, now I need 2 monitors. Okay, yeah. I swear to God, if one more person complains to me about my monitor, yeah, cursed. I took care of that. Don't you worry. I didn't like that dude's name, so I made sure. And his account was created 8 hours ago. I took care of it myself. But it's a good chance to test that new IP ban we just did. We got to test that in the stream. That's cool. I don't know if y'all saw that guy or not, but that was I clicked on an account 8 hours ago. We're gonna test that real quick. Yeah. But so in conclusion,
when what's banned is in your name, that's a good sign.
Yeah. That's a good sign. So in conclusion. It is okay to be a perfectionist as a content creator. It is okay to be a perfectionist when you are a podcast producer, like both us and Third Artifact are.
Just learn to work with it.
Just learn to work around it, Don't let small hiccups ruin... Oh, yes. Oh, Kenai, do you know about the new IP ban? TLDR, if you ban somebody, you not only ban that account, and they can no longer see your chat at all, but it IP shadow bans your entire IP. It shadow bans your entire IP, so any account that you create using that IP, your internet browser, you can type in chat, but no one can see it. Yeah, that's a new thing that came out last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
As we said earlier in the podcast, should have always been a thing, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And no other thing uses it, which is kind of crazy. So, what we like to do when we end the podcast every time is go around the horn and tell everyone watching what you are planning to do this week. We'll start with our guest and go around and end with me. So, Kenzie, what are you planning this week?
Like in general or like content-wise?
Both. Mostly content, but we can talk about your life too.
All of the above.
What are you having for dinner tomorrow?
Everything hour to hour.
All right. Well, I got a new job this month, and I am an essential employee. So I'm okay with it. I had been streaming full time for 5 months. So I'm really glad to be working again because I hate streaming full time. I will never want to do it again. So I'm going.
Define full time streaming real quick.
No other source of income.
Okay, all right, cool.
No other source of income. Granted, I think it's different because I refer to myself as a full-time streamer because I was streaming like more than 32 hours a week, which is typically what a full-time job is, and putting more into it than that. However, I had no other source of income other than my stream itself.
That's rough.
It's just too damn stressful. I don't want to rely on my community to pay my rent. It just feels weird. So, I got a new job and I'm going actually into work. Won't be working from home next week. So I'm also kind of sick. So I'm like, I hope that they don't think that I have the beer flu.
Oh, you got the Ronas.
I don't have Rona. It's just a regular head cold. I promise.
Oh my God, I forgot about this.
So that's really it. I'm just working. I did all my busy work I need to do today. Our backyard is nothing but mud. I put down grass seed and I put down hay, and now my dogs are having a hay day in the backyard.
Hey.
So now I'm just gonna work and kick it and hopefully take a nice bath.
Hell yeah.
That is fun. So content-wise, do you have any special streams at all planned for this week at all?
So I recently got a VR headset and I've been doing Skyrim VR. I get motion sickness very easily.
I've seen Skyrim VR and it looks like a bit of a mess, honestly.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to do more of that, although I don't last very long in VR because I get sick. So I'm hoping to use my stream time this week to get into Skyrim VR or just continue playing Witcher, and then bring back Thought Talks by next Sunday.
Fun.
Yeah, hype.
Hype in
Yeet
chat.
yeah, boys.
Yeah. All right. So, Vivid, this is supposed to, guys. We're gonna raid somebody after we're done, so don't run away just yet. Vivid, what do you got going on this week?
Well, I'm streaming daily whilst I'm in lockdown because if I go out once, Boris Johnson will find me and break my legs.
Yep.
So,
One walk a day. That's it. That's all you get.
Yeah, streaming on the daily right now. Just playing a bunch of different video games. Got a review coming up on Wednesday of the Predator Hunting Grounds demo that was released over the weekend. And if you've watched my reviews for a long time and missed when I used to be kind of harsh on games, you're gonna see one this Wednesday.
We're getting OG Vivid back.
Yeah, this game was it's a special case scenario. But yeah, other than that, daily streams right now. Still looking towards the the looming presence of the big D&D collab we're doing as part of Fireside.
Yep, that's
Still
the next big
working on
Fireside
that.
production that we're working on is a D&D live stream D&D thing. That's gonna be fun.
Driving me insane as I'm slowly building it. Lep and one of our other players, Max, have to build their characters some point over the coming days. So that might be a thing.
I'll get there.
But that's pretty much me. It's just whatever I fancy playing on that day, I'll be playing.
Yep.
That's a good plan.
What do you have going on?
Well, I was debating about doing my regular Monday Night Marbs tomorrow because the Marble season actually ended today. So we're kind of between seasons, so I'll lose a lot of my grinders that come in all the time. But I figured we're all in lockdown and we have nothing better to do, so we might as well. So I think I'm actually going to do Monday Night Marbs, and there will probably be drinks, and there will probably finally be Twitch sings. that I've known you guys for a long time. It's going to be the December, January, February, and March Twitch sings combined. So save up your Leppely and buy some songs for me to sing.
Leppely.
So that's kind of my plan. And other than that, I'm working from home because we're considered an essential business where I work.
So am I! Fuck my safety, right?
But they wanted us all to actually work from home. So if we can, and I'm the only person in my department that can work. Because I work in facilities.
Is yanking my chain, man. I'm so sick of it. Okay,
dude,
so
they gotta get your shit together.
We had someone that came in. This is what I was gonna say. We had someone that came in the store 2 days ago, right? And she's got a full face mask on, full gloves on. She's wearing long sleeves, everything. She sits down. She goes, "I've been sick for like 3 weeks. I thought I was getting better, and then I started feeling worse." And we're like, "Okay." And she goes, "I don't think I have it, but I might have it." That's what she called it, it. And she goes, "I don't want to tell my boss, but I want to continue working from home. So can y'all make sure that my tablet can get my work emails?" Bitch, did you really walk into a store in a city of Williamsburg, Virginia that is 60% over the age of 55, which is the danger age, by the way, and would really just come into a store and literally expose all of us to it? Just because you couldn't get your work emails on your tablet, you could have called and got this done. I could have done this over the phone with you.
Could have YouTubed it.
And just, like, ever since then, we've been like all kind of like panicking a little bit because it's like I can't catch it. I have lung issues, you know, like I have bronchial issues from when I had bronchitis. So I can't catch this, you know, like that's why I'm just like, can I get like some kind of PTO, you know, stay home for 2 weeks? That'd be great. But
yeah, we actually had a scare in our office too with one of our girls in a different department. I heard
scary times.
Multiple stories. I don't know which one is true. One was that she had contact with somebody that had it and she might have it, but she wasn't tested because she didn't have the symptoms. And the other one was that she was actually sick and but she didn't have all the symptoms, so they still weren't going to test her. So I don't know, but I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to work from home. I'm staying away from the office. I'm not even going to look at the office for the next 2 weeks.
As far as this week goes, I actually have a full weekend off this weekend. This is how
we do also have an announcement to make, Eric.
We do have an announcement to make. We're gonna make that in just a second. I forgot about the thank you reminding me. We're gonna make that announcement during the stream. Curse, don't go anywhere because it's about you.
Someone's in trouble.
No, it's actually the opposite. You'll be happy. I just want to scare you for a second. I'm pregnant with Curse's child. I should have told you all. No.
Well, like you already had the Twitch baby.
Yeah, we already had the Twitch baby was just the beginning, big boy. All right, so anyway, this week, Tuesday night, I have so many JRPGs. I'm a RPG streamer. For those of you that I know that y'all guys have, a lot of y'all follow. Thank you guys so much for that. Can y'all tag y'all's Twitches and stuff like that in here too? Just real quick in the chat so everyone can follow you guys as well.
Right.
But I do a lot of RPGs and JRPGs similar to Kenzie. We actually play some of the same games, like Witcher 3. I do a lot of JRPGs. They're my favorites are JRPGs. I have Tales of Symphonia that I'm trying to finish. Persona 4 Royale comes out on Tuesday, and then Final Fantasy VII Remake comes on April 10th. And I have no fucking idea how I'm getting through all three of them without having 3 different playthroughs going on at once. So Tuesday I'm doing a long stream of Persona 5 Royale. This weekend I'm going to try to finish Tales of Symphonia, and then Wednesday I'm reserving for a multiplayer game. I just don't know who I'm playing with and what we're playing. But Cursed. For those of you guys that don't know, me, Lep, and Vivid have been kind of the three-headed horsemen for the Fireside Entertainment, but Cursed has done a whole lot for us, and so we decided that Cursed, you're gonna be part of the main team now. So congratulations, we're excited. Yay! Cursed has done a lot of stuff for us. He's been there since the beginning. And honestly, half of Fireside Entertainment is what it is because he's gone out and done more stuff than we have. So we were talking about it today before stream, that we were gonna put you in there, but we figured we would just do it after the podcast was over. So congratulations. We'll be one of the main peeps. But yeah, guys, we're gonna raid Miss Alley Cat. She's one of my really good friends. She's a partner streamer. Really good friend of the community for us as well. She helps us out sometimes too. We're gonna raid her. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Kenzie, for being here with us as well. Hope to have you back soon. If you need someone to put on a wig, Nomadina can exist for you if need be. I'm sure Lep would be more than happy to help you out sometime.
If you need someone who wears small hats.
Small hats.
I have small hats,
but yes.
None of them fit me.
So we're gonna raid Allie. I don't think Bella's live, Curse. Otherwise, it probably would have been Bella. But I don't know if I want to expose all the go to. But we're gonna raid Allie. She's awesome as well. If you guys are, is this gonna work? Yes. Oh, I don't see her live. That's okay. But if you guys are subbed, obviously the bottom one. If you're not, it's the top one. We're gonna go and we're gonna raid Miss Alley Cat, the lovely woman that she is. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I won't be live tomorrow. I'll be live Tuesday with Persona 5 Royale. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll be there. Third, when are you live next?
I'm hoping tomorrow night. But we'll see. It's all my job is really far away, and it's also very strenuous. I have to do testing and stuff to keep my job. So it's all very reliant on my job right now.
Understandable. Well,
that's always fun.
We will see you guys next time. We'll be back next week. Don't know who the guest will be, but I have an idea who I want it to be. I just got to reach out to him. And
keep an eye on Twitter. You'll probably find out our topic before we do.
Yep. That's how I work.
Most likely. Yep.
I just tell them what we're doing and they go with it. You guys have a fantastic night. Tell Allie I love her, and I will see you guys next time.
Bye.
If we raid Allie and she's in the middle of a game. We're good.
Let's go.
And he's got a fucking phone.
I got
Where's he at? Oh,
it's buttery wiener. It's okay, guys. I